Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, the scene with Carly and Joslyn typically plays out how you would imagine. Joslyn being stupid and naive, Carly knowing the game and knowing who Sonny is. Now, the one thing that I will sit there and say what Joslyn was right about was when Joslyn's like, how are you still loyal to a man who has treated you bad for so long, right? And I typically don't like Jocelyn. You couldn't tell by my reviews, but she makes a damn good point, you know? And when she talks about how, listen, I'm always there for him, he's always there for me, and I'm just like, yeah, but he's treated you like garbage. Don't get me wrong, Carly has treated him just as bad. Okay? It is a two-way street. People sit there and act like it was just one way. You know how it is in relationships. There's a give and take. They both kind of batter each other. They both call each other names and things of that nature. But again, Jocelyn has a good point. How do you sit there and stay loyal to a man who has treated you bad for so long? And I like Sonny, but I mean, girl got a point. Now, of course, in the beginning she was like, oh, well, how do I know that Sonny didn't kill Dex? I was like, and if he did, then what? Then what? What if he did do it? What if he did sit there and put two in the head? Then what? What are you going to do? Nothing. You're just going to sit there and throw a temper tantrum like you usually do. It's going to add up to nothing. And Carly's like, listen, Dex is lucky that he's dealing with somebody like Sonny. Because if he was dealing with anybody else, it wouldn't even be a conversation. Dex would have been dead. Point blank, period. He would have been dead. Josh would have been crying and all this other stuff. Wah, 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 wah. No one cares. That's exactly what would wound up happening. But she sits there and spends a lot of her time sitting there being mad at Sonny. Sonny did this, Sonny did that. And Carly's like, yo, listen. She lays it out. If Dex wasn't dealing with anybody else, he would have been dead. So you should kind of be lucky that he chose to work for Sonny as opposed to somebody else. Because all those tears, all this whining doesn't mean anything. So what does dumbass Jocelyn decides to do? I'm just going to go and take off and find him. And then we're just going to sit there. And if he doesn't want to come back to Port Charles, we'll just live somewhere else. Okay, cool. So you know this man for like, what, a year. And you're ready to sit there and leave your family. For him. Man, are you dumb? Curtis and Trina. I had mixed emotions about it. Because you know how I've been. I've been a straight up dick. I've been tired of the mopey, whiny Trina talking about Spencer. I'm just over it. I do not care. But, with that being said, there was a couple of things that she did say that I feel that everyone can understand and everyone has been through at some point. People sitting there asking you, are you okay? Is everything okay? This, that, and third. Yeah, it does start to drive you up a wall. Because what do you want to sit there and say? Yeah, I'm totally fine. No, if I sit there and tell you all my problems, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Well, if it made you feel uncomfortable, then what the hell did you ask me for? I totally get that. And I totally do understand that, when Curtis was like, why don't you just sit there and just let it out? And she's like, if I do, I won't stop. It'd be like a black hole. And I think every person in their life at some point has felt like that. I know I have. Right? So, that hit me on a personal level. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people could relate to that. Now, Curtis is talking about, leaning on your family and they're very important and, you can just let it out and you can fall apart and we'll put you back together, this, that, and the third. I think that's all great, right? Family support is definitely where it's at. But has one person not sit there and suggest therapy? Now, if you watch my reviews for a while, watch my channel for a while, I'm a big advocate when it comes towards therapy. I'm not just saying that it's a one size fits all, it's a once cure or whatever for everything, but I feel like it's a tool. And I feel like at the very least, it's a start. Yes, having family and friends, that goes a long way as far as having a support system and a foundation. But, therapy is important. You are literally dealing with licensed people that are trained to deal with this type of trauma. Because that's literally what it is. Now, at one point, did he sit there and suggest that? Also, now, at one point, did he sit there and mention Taggart? You remember Taggart, right? Yeah, no, me too. So, yeah. Now, okay, you know what? We're going to get to the crappy parts of this episode in a minute. But Alexis and Gregory are talking about their latest latest article that they did on Olivia, which, again, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? There's something I gotta sit there and look out where the actress that played Olivia, Jerome, seemed like she was kind of slighted by that. The fact that they killed off the character off screen, it's like, oh, we just killed it off, like, oh, damn. You hadn't found anything for her to do? Oh, even if you would have sat there and gave it to another person. Just an absolute waste. Anyway, Valentine comes over there, and, Valentine's like, he has news as far as one, he bought the paper. Two, he hired a new publisher, which is Nina. So Nina comes in there. Well, at first, when Valentine said he bought the paper, Alexis just started overthinking things like she usually does. It's like, oh, well, if you're gonna sit there and do this, that, and the third, I quit. I'm like, okay. Even Gregory was like, do you want to sit there and hear him out first before you just start jumping to worst case scenarios? But then you get Nina in there, right? And, Alexis asked questions like, why did you get fired from the last place you was working at? And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Are you interviewing Nina for the position of being your boss? Because this whole conversation just seems completely and utterly ass backwards. What? The fact that Nina actually chose to answer her is just laughable, right? Anyway, it seemed like it was an acceptable answer for some odd reason. They shook hands and they kind of parted ways. And of course, Alexis is still kind of sus of Nina because, well, I mean, it's Nina. And Nina, is telling Valentine that, she wants to make the magazine more sexier and appealing and stuff like that. And then she brings up Carly and Drew. Like, yep, first act of business is sit there and get back at Carly and Drew. Okay, baby girl, keep that same petty energy. And now this is where we get to the crap of this episode. I'm not even gonna sit there and try to sugarcoat it. So Marshall is with Stella and talks about how he got misdiagnosed and he just went to his last appointment and he's happy and he's like, well, I don't know what to do with this and I don't, it's like this is good news, but I don't know how to handle this. And I'm partly just like, okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It sucked that he got misdiagnosed. But like Stella said, we can't go back in time. We don't have a DeLorean. You can't sit there and beat up the guy who misdiagnosed you. There's nothing you can do. You're just wasting time and energy. You might as well sit there and find a way to move forward. They go through this whole song and dance, and in the end, Marshall just accepts it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is a complete and utter waste of time. They could have had them do. They could have had them do so much more. They could have sat there and talked about their relationship or whatever relationship that they might have. Instead, it was just that scene. And of course, the Tracy, Lois, and Brooklyn scene that went absolutely nowhere. Something about it being a misprint and Lois trying to, I don't know, ask Tracy if she has a date, if she has somebody in mind for the wedding. And, Tracy's like, no, it's cool. I'm cool being single. No one's really cool being single. Let's just. I don't understand that. I don't understand what some women sit there and say. I'm cool being single. I'm like, okay. Let's see how long that little battery power friend of yours lasts. Because at some point, even that shit gets kind of old. But okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, like I said, I think she's probably thinking about going with Gregory. Would be my guess. And I feel like that's pretty much about it. Can't think of anything else I want up happening. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. Now, if I missed anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows. General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless. And if you're not a member, hit the join button in the description box below. Become a member. Do exclusive videos for members only. First takes for members. Members monthly shoutouts. And exclusive live streams for members only. Definitely going to be one of those part of those conversations because the tea definitely does get spilled. Now with that being said, I'm going to go. I will see you in the next video.